Hey, what's going on YouTube? BD Kane 721. Today is a special day for me because I get to open a package from PSA that was delivered yesterday of a single card submittal I made at the Burbank show. I've mentioned this before, I believe in one of my previous videos, where I submitted a card that was given to me by my dad, who unfortunately passed away a few months ago on Father's Day. And I've been struggling with the idea of submitting this card because it means so much to me, because it was a card that he bought at my very first show way back when I was like 11 or 12 years old. So we're talking almost 40 years ago. So it's been in my collection ever since. It's a card of his favorite player when he was that age. And it just means a whole heck of a lot to me. And I've had struggles with submitting it to PSA because I've never wanted to lose it. I've never wanted to damage it. It stayed in the same holder that it was in when we got it at that show. So it was difficult for me. I thought I was going to do it at the National. I chickened out of bringing it along with me to the National, but I was able to get the courage to bring it to the Burbank show about a month ago and submit it there. Even told the story to the guy who checked the card in, and he shook my hand and said thank you for trusting it to PSA to be graded and authenticated. So I'm gonna turn the camera around, show you the reveal, and talk a little bit more about the card. And I'm sorry for all of you that have heard this story many times. I've told it many times on my channel, so apologize for telling it one more time. But I think because of this event, getting it graded and revealing the grade here on the channel is just another yet good reason to tell that story once again and honor my dad by telling that story. So let me turn the camera around and I'll be back in a sec. Thanks everyone for sticking around. I really appreciate you sharing this moment with me. Here's the box from PSA. You can see that I haven't opened up the seal yet, but I will in a second. I just want to talk a little bit about the player that I'm going to be showing. My dad's favorite player when he was growing up back in the 40s was Bobby Doerr of the Boston Red Sox. Here's a 1950 Bowman Bobby Doerr in an SGC 5. Got this card much later in my collecting life. I saw it, I think, at a show, and I just thought it looked great. And I just obviously remember the name from it being my dad's favorite player. So I picked it up and sent it off to SGC shortly after. Got a pretty good grade on it. Bobby Doerr was a second baseman for the Boston Red Sox. He played from 1937 at age 19 all the way up to 1951 at age 33. So he kind of, I guess you could say he sort of stopped playing at an early age, but still amassed a lot of great statistics. Wasn't a huge power hitter. Had 223 home runs over the course of those 14 years. I think the reason why my dad really liked Bobby Doerr was just not just for his ability on the field, but who he was off the field. If you know anything about the Boston Red Sox teams of the 1940s, you'll know that Ted Williams was obviously the big star. Ted Williams came with his own issues, and he was a handful, not only on the field, but off the field. And Bobby Doerr, along with Johnny Pesky and Dom DiMaggio and other players on that team, were sort of the caretakers of Ted Williams and that entire team of the 1940s. And so my dad really admired that, really admired the fact that Bobby Doerr was such a leader type of player and person, and he helped Ted Williams get through a lot of difficulty throughout his career while in Boston. It's very well chronicled in many different texts and articles about those teams and the personalities on those teams. So my dad was a very big fan of character, and I think Bobby Doerr brought a lot of character to baseball, to that team, and just to the world in general. So that's what drew him to Bobby Doerr and became a really big fan. So as I'm opening this box, I'll tell you the story again. When I first started getting into collecting back when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood, my dad and I went to a show close to where I lived, and it was the first ever show. And I remember my dad going around to all the dealers asking them, do they have any Bobby Doerr cards? It's a very, very different time period back then. But a lot of dealers did have Bobby Doerr cards, and one of those Bobby Doerr cards was a 1949 Bowman, which is the year prior to this one. And so I guess, he saw that at this show, at one of the tables, and decided to buy it. I think it ended up being like around, I don't know, $40 or $50, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so, going to open this up here. They really pack it well. Again, this is a single card submittal. I was worried that the card wouldn't get authenticated because there's an autograph on it. I'm looking forward to showing that to you. Good, all right. So 1949 Bowman, Bobby Dorr, number 23 of a series of 240. So anyway, we bought this card from a dealer at the show. The dealer said to my dad that he got the autograph himself. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if it got authenticated. I'm assuming it did since it's slabbed up. And there's the card itself, and there's the autograph. You can see it's a really nice looking autograph. The card looks really great. Definitely has some wear to it. I mean, a 1949 card is going to have some wear to it. PSA DNA certified, authentic, and is a good 2. So excellent grade. I wasn't really expecting much on the grade as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I just wanted the auto authenticated, really was the main reason, and getting this card into a slab. So a 2 is fine with me, but now this card is going to live in my collection for the rest of my days, and I have a nephew who is highly involved in collecting, so probably will pass this down to him, tell him the story, which he already knows actually, and get this card into his collection for his lifetime. And hopefully it'll stay in the family as we move forward. But fantastic result for me. I was hoping that auto was going to be authentic, which it ended up being, and I'm really glad to see the card in a slab after all these years. So hope you enjoyed that, guys, and I will be in touch real soon, give you some updates on some other things in the collection. Thanks for joining me on this adventure, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.